Welcome back, everyone, to Nerd TV for an RSR Next Generation Cup Series race coming at you live from the Texas Motor Speedway as the RSR boys are going to be taking 135 laps around this mile-and-a-half facility. And a little bit warmer, not by much compared to last night's race at FTSR that we broadcasted. 80 degrees on the surface, 77 in the skies, 57% humidity, clear skies, and almost no wind. It was 13 yesterday. Now it's down to nothing virtually, so should not affect these cars one bit here. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty, and on my right-hand side tonight is he's co-producing slash commentating Mr. Dustin Loxton. How's it going?
Hey, I tell you what, going good. Looking forward to another fantastic Texas race. We've seen some amazing racing over the last week here from these next-gen cars at this track here. Should pose the exact same. These drivers here at RSR for the next-gen Cup Series always put on a good show. And from the look of practice, I mean, they were doing 2 and 3 wide, multi-groove. I'm looking for one hell of a race tonight, man.
Yeah, a lot of fast guys up here. We know it's a fixed setup, but like we've usually seen some separation amongst a lot of the guys, even in a fixed setup. And right now, the top 25 are within 2 to 3 tenths of each other. I know it's getting to nighttime here, which we're going to see that back-to-back nights here on Nerd TV, but I love to see it. It's going to bring the excitement out of these cars. The grip level is going to be up there like we saw yesterday. Just got to watch that for that turn 2 wall. That seemed to take a lot of people out as we're looking on board here. The 99 of Kevin Ruff as he gets to the start-finish line to set up his second lap, I do believe.
Yeah, and like you said, that turn 2 is going to be treacherous. We've seen yesterday in the FTSR Cup Series at this very same facility. Turn 2 was the trouble turn. A lot of issues with drivers coming off turn 2. I'm going to call that one our coffin corner for tonight, but turn 4 also posed some issues. Drivers seem to get tight coming off of turn 4 with that extra speed that they carry through 3 and 4. Kevin Ruff loose off of turn 4 there, tags the wall. That's going to be an invalidated lap. Oh, what a ride do we get there?
He listened to you, Dustin. You said losing 3 and 4, and here you went.
Yeah, right? So, just for the record, that's not how you want to pull a qualifying lap here, but that's the name of the game. That's what we've been seeing from a lot of these cars here over the last week is loose, loose, loose.
Yeah, that was a lot more ferocious than what we saw on Saturday. If you watched the Xfinity race where Brandon Poole cleaned the inside pit road wall in the actual race, Kevin just absolutely destroyed that thing. But we're going to switch over to 38 James Catrone here.
The birthday
coming
boy.
To the start finish line. Yeah, that's right. You told me that in the pre-race. So happy birthday, Mr. James Catrone. Today is his birthday, correct?
That is correct. As long as social media has not lied to me, today is his birthday. So all the nerds here with Nerditudes, to include Jason, who is not here today. He is spending some time with his other half. Sometimes we like to say the better half. So we like to wish you a happy birthday. And hopefully that brings him a little bit of luck tonight, because like I said, this track here, it's been tough.
It does. If you remember when Michelle Rittenberry was on there about Kevin Ruff saying, hey, you need to get me a top 5 for my birthday, that brought some luck to Kevin Ruff's camp. So why can't it happen for James Catrone tonight?
Hey, it did. So you know what? That very well could be. We'll have to see. After we get done here and the checkered flag drops and the smoke clears, we'll have to see if maybe that birthday luck doesn't transfer over. So,
yeah, we have 19 seconds left in the session. I see Steven Rasick. He's crossing the line now, and Kevin Zabadill's going to finish his lap up. Andrew Little does as well. So it is all but over in this session. Right now, the number 10 of Adam Boughton looks to hold the pole position here as we've got 2-1-0. Qualifying is officially over. So Adam Boughton is going to be scored with the pole here tonight for the hashtag Logan Strong 200 here, as we're going to get lined up on pit road here momentarily, which I know Dustin and I are big fans of these guys going 45 degrees, single file down pit road, waiting for the pace truck to get rolling. And as these guys are starting to take the grid, we're going to go over the official starting order here for tonight's hashtag Logan Strong 200. Number 10, Adam Boughton's going to be P1. Ryan Bean, 28 is going to be second place. Nolan Potter in the 34 is going to be starting third. Nathan Campbell in fourth. Richie Coy going to be hitting the top 5 spot here tonight. Brock Potter sixth. Alexander Hodge in seventh. Andrew Little in eighth. Zach Strenthenall going to be starting in ninth. 10th place, the number 57, Brian Fine. 11th, the 17 of Kevin Zabladil. 12th place, Tony Ludi. 13th, Justin Hendry. 14th, the number 6 of Rusty Modesty. 15th place, Kane Lee. Starting in 16th, Matt Hayden. 17th, Michael Carter. 18th, Blake Cowell. 19th, James Catrone. 20th place, Harold Watkins. 21st, Steve Potter. 22nd, Michael Sheffield. 23rd, Kevin Ruff. 24th, Jerry Culver. 25th place, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. 26th, Dan Carnathan. 27th, Stephen Rasick. 28th, Richard Gonzalez. 29th, James Fitzmaurice. And tonight's 30th place car and the last one on the grid, the number 92 of Clint Moda.
Yeah, we already love it. Keep lighting up those chats. We love hearing everything going on there. So a little birdie by the name of Marianne Sheffield tells me that tomorrow is Michael Sheffield's birthday, so maybe some double birthday luck tonight, Jeremy, as we do it. Sheila Geary says, glad that we are back. We missed us last week, yes. I will take responsibility on that one there. We had to take my daughter to go get some testing done for autism, so that took us out of town about 3 hours away, so we were unfortunately not able to call the Bristol race. Would have loved to have done that, though, because absolutely love Bristol. But either way, we are back tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, 100% here. Bristol's a tough one to miss, man. I love calling those every single time. I love racing them. I love calling them. Anything about Bristol, I just enjoy it. But we expected last night to be a kind of a tame race being Texas, but it presented a lot of entertainment. So I'm hoping, not that I want people to wreck and crash and, cause mayhem, but I'm hoping tonight presents kind of like the same story where we have some drama late in the race. We have a lot of good 2x2 racing throughout the field. And, underneath the lights at Texas, it could be, it could very well happen here tonight.
Absolutely. And I will tell you that with the racing that we have seen here over the last week, I have been pleasantly surprised with the amount of action that we've seen at Texas. I mean, usually when we come to Texas, we're like, oh, great, it's a Texas race, a bottom feeder. There's going to be a long lull in the center, snore fest. But I tell you what, Jeremy, I mean, this track has provided and has shown over the last week. And, if the racing is like this all the time at Texas, this is easily going to move up my track list as one of my favorite, probably top 10 tracks to watch if the racing keeps going with the action.
We'll have to find out here. We're going to extend this caution, or not caution, but the pace here by 1 lap. So not this time, but next time. We're going to kick it over to green flag. And kind of a unique thing with the sponsor, the hashtag Logan Strong race here tonight. On lap 1, as soon as the guys take green flag, we're going to go silent for 1 lap. In memory of tonight's sponsor, from Brian Fine. Of course, he runs that on his quarter panel every single Tuesday that you've seen so far here on the Nerd TV coverage. And if you've been part of the league for much longer, you've known that to be true. You see him on your screen right now. So we're just going to, show a little condolences there for almost a 1-year anniversary. And we're a half a lap, Dustin, for getting ready to go green flag. I'm excited for this one. I know everyone watching, they're chatting it up on both YouTube and Facebook. They're looking forward to it. And let's get this thing going.
Absolutely. And Sheila Geary shouts back again. Again, we love the interaction, guys. We love bringing you guys into the broadcast. She says family first. 110% agree. We don't like to cancel races or anything else or reschedule, but family's always first. And I think that's why the meaning behind tonight's race is a special one, because I am very family oriented, as is Jeremy and Jason. So it's always nice to see that the backing and support of those around you that you see as close friends, when it comes to a situation like that.
100%. Pace truck is dipping down. Adam Boughton is going to be taking the green flag here. And 3, 2, 1, green flag is out. This race is underway, and we'll resume our voices on lap 2. Now we are on lap number 2 here. The number 28, Ryan Beans, got a 2 to 3 car length separation over teammate 45, Nathan Campbell, which all season long, these two have been some of the toughest competitors on the track. You know, Ryan Beans got 5 wins of the season, very close to how he performed last season. That we did not broadcast, but if you go through their Discord, you can see all the stats and whatnot. Got the number 10 Adam Bowden, already dropped 2 spots. He's in 3rd place. 4th and 5th are side by side. That's the 34 Nolan Potter and the 4 Brock Potter. His family members are gonna go for it into turn number 1. And Dustin, they clear each other. Nolan Potter gets the better advantage there on the inside preferred lane. He moves to 4th.
Yeah, a lot of single file right now, which is not uncommon from what we've seen. A lot of drivers, we've seen them fall back from the start because, I mean, it takes a little time to get some heat in these tires, to get it going up. Some of these guys might be a little gun shy. I mean, you've seen how loose they were in qualifying, Jeremy. I mean, they may be a little shy about, sending it off full send off into turn 1 or turn 3, hoping it's going to stick. So they're going to take it easy for the first couple laps here. As you see, Adam Boughton is going to, be under attack there from the 34 of Nolan Potter. So Nolan Potter is going to make a liar out of me here, Jeremy.
I took a lot of notes from yesterday. Remember that number 24, Jose Acosta, who came out of nowhere and just shot up through the field and almost won the dang thing? That's because he saved a lot of tires. He said he just laid off and took it super easy. And then at the end of the run, he just had everything. So the number 10 could be playing a strategy call where he's just going to drop back here, which he's done so far, and maybe take a stab at it long run. But you also got to know the 28 and the 45 are in front of you, which that's a tough race all on its own self, as we're kind of cycling through the field here. Looks like we're focusing on Rusty Modesty, currently P13. He's going to be side by side here. I think with the 85 of Justin Hendry, he clears him on the front stretch.
The wall there a little bit off the floor.
It was really close. I didn't see the smoke, but you probably had a better angle than I did here. Right in front of them, it's still pretty dicey. Richie Coy on the top side. He's going to pass Kevin Zabla. Actually makes contact with Kevin, sending down just to the white line there at the apron transition as he go into 3.
What a save, though. I mean, just the slightest contact, and we've seen this, Jeremy. It doesn't take much with these cars. I mean, you can even get a car to do that just by packing the air on that right rear. I mean, these things just, they take off. That was excellent heads-up driving by the 17 of Zabladil, though, to keep it off the wall and then, come back up into the track. So good heads-up for him and the other drivers there to safely merge back.
Very good heads up there. Did not cause a wreck, so we stay green. Lap 7 coming to completion of lap 7 here. Still pretty racy right outside the top 10. Inside the top 10, these guys have really spaced out. So basically what's on your screen is the main action on the track. But I can tell you, just update on the front, they are closing in a little bit. The 34 has got to the back bumper. The 45, Nathan Campbell rather. The 10 of Adam Boughton has stopped falling back. He's just kind of cruising a long way. And then right behind him in 5th place, 4 Brock Potter, kind of casually waiting here, seeing if the 10 makes any mistakes early in this run, just kind of keeping those tires clean. Remember, stage break. It's going to be at lap 55 this evening.
Yeah, lap 55. So we got Mitchell Owens on the chat saying good luck, Hodge. A lot of people shouting out their favorite drivers. My 3 sons on YouTube says good luck, Jerry Culver, who I noticed was in a new paint this week. I love Valvoline paints, and Jerry Culver's paint this week is very, very sexy. Love that. So again, much respect to everybody. Keep shouting out your favorite drivers. It's going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah, already looking like, especially in the mid-pack here, there's just such good racing. There's still 2x2 right now. Rusty's along the inside of the 19. Richie Coy here coming to turn number 1. Looks like Rusty's going to make that pass. Now here comes Brian Fine to the inside here, looking to pass Richie once more. Richie started 5th. He's already dropped back to 12th, 13th right now, under fire to maybe go back to 14th. So he may be playing that tire strategy early on.
Yeah, well, I mean, Richie raced and won yesterday at FTSR, in a dramatic finish. But, I mean, I guarantee you he took a lot of notes from that race there, and tire management's big. So it wouldn't surprise me if he is, possibly conserving as well. But guarantee you this is not where he wants to be, right in the hornet's nest, because there's a lot of drivers here, a lot of fast drivers. So, I mean, he's in good company. But, Jeremy, you know as well as I that with as loose as these cars can get, just at the drop of a dime, it doesn't take much with cars.
Yeah, 100% there. And they did look a little sketchy in that qualifying session, especially. We saw a ton of cars getting loose, which, I mean, I know it's like a version of the race setup, and a lot of these guys seem to be a little bit more comfortable. But if this run continues the way it is, these cars. Oh my
Oh
gosh, Kevin
my!
Zabadell in the 17 absolutely just obliterates the exit turn 2 wall. His body panels went flying everywhere, and that's going to bring out the first car presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. And we're going to have to go back to the Nerd TV replay because that was a hellacious hit.
That was that hurt me, and I know it's a simulation, but that was just painful. And there was that loose. You see, it just bobbled a little bit. He had to chase it up the track, and these things. There's that happy medium is a very fine line, Jeremy. Of correcting it just enough to keep it going, and then crossing the line, and then it's an overcorrect. And that's exactly what happened there. That was a hard hit.
That's going to collect the 85, Justin Hendry, the 23 as well of Harold Watkins. And birthday boy, 38, James Catrone. If you go on his camera angle, he's got the birthday luck with him early on here. Somehow he avoids this.
That was in-car shot right there from Kevin Zabladil. You seen, I mean, that wheel was 90 degrees to the right. It kicked loose hard on that one there. So, I mean, just a hard hit. And we're going to go on board with the birthday boy himself, Mr. James Catrone. And we're going to see exactly what he saw.
Just nothing's there. And then all of a sudden, hey, here's
The
a lane
seas
for you. Why don't
parted.
you
Look at
take it?
that.
And then he gets loose, which we're kind of seeing this here. Saves it, goes down to the inside, and keeps going. No damage whatsoever. Might have hit a body panel, but no physical damage down to that 38. Man, that road was closed and it somehow opened up at the right time for him.
That was, I mean, sometimes that's what it is. I mean, maybe the birthday luck's on his side. This is in real time. You're going to see no hole, and now it's parted. There he is, loose, little loose. Good correction, didn't overcorrect, kept it going. Excellent save and drive through that accident there by James Catrone.
Yeah, see Michelle Rittenberry saying, let's go. Kevin Ruff, the usual Tuesday suspect for Kevin when it comes to cheerleading, and he made it unscathed through that wreck as well, currently sitting in 14th. So Kevin, Dustin, is already up 9 positions, 13 green flag laps in.
Yeah, 13 green flag laps in. He is tied for the biggest mover. The other driver up 9 positions as well as the pilot of that number 26, being Blake Howell, up 9 positions as well. He's currently sitting P9. So both Howell and Ruff are our biggest movers. Both are in the top 15. And Jeremy, I mean, we're only a short number of laps in, so they got plenty of time to do it. So at the rate they're going, being the biggest movers, by the time we hit stage break, I would expect to see both of those drivers, the 26 of Howell, the 99 of Ruff, being up there towards the top 5.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to agree with you on that side too. We got one to go. We're gonna shout out the series sponsor, Best One Tire and Service. So if you're looking for a one-stop automotive repair and tire shop, Best One Tire and Service helps you get the new tires, tire repairs, and auto service you need from the people you can trust. Check out where their nearest location is to you by visiting bestonetire.com today. And you know, they've been a strong sponsor of this RSR Next Gen Cup Series. And how fitting, man. We got a tire sponsor for a virtual sim here. And some of these tracks definitely can require some tire service.
Oh yeah, this here. I mean, if you did anything with watching the real Cup race, tires were a huge thing for that race there. So, tire conservation is going to be key here. I think the winner of tonight's race is going to be the one that can conserve the tires and maintain consistent pace all the way through, as they just burn off so fast. On the Facebook chat, Matt Keach is on there with his typical "Hey." I want to give you a shout out. Thanks for joining in, my man.
What's going on, Matt? Hopefully your night's going well, and hopefully you're doing some good things. I think Volusia's at the dirt stuff this week when it comes to his sprint car, so hopefully he can get some W's there at a home track. But we're back to green flag here. Ryan Bean gets a nice little 2-car length, maybe 3-car length advantage over the 34 and 45 before they even get to turn number 1. Looks like Nolan Potter's going to take that spot from Nathan there, so position switch for second. And then the 4 of Brock Potter's going to follow suit in 4th, Boughton 5th. And the number 2 there of Strength and All, he's going to be in 6th. Looking to the inside is that number 11 of Alexander Hodge. Backs out of it last moment, almost clips the back bumper there, entering turn number 3. Now it's going to open the door for Andrew Little on the front stretch.
Yeah, they were 3 wide coming out of turn 2 there on that restart lap there. So it's a little too early for that. I mean, we've seen that not work out to play, but I tell you what, these drivers made it look easy. But like you said, now that front 6, front 8 now are starting to get single file. You see side by side now between Modesty and Coy. Now side by side. Jeremy, I'm surprised to see Coy. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. That was a close one there. Catrone with another good hand save. You can see him way off pace right now as he's bringing it back up. Everybody going around, but I tell you what, that there could have been way worse than what it was. I would take that as a W any day over hitting the wall like Kevin Zabadil did just under that last caution.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that clip available for that 38 James Catrone save. If not, that's cool, but that was a crazy save. Brian Fine had kind of slowed up on corner entry, made James really lift off the throttle. The 99 of Kevin Ruff got into his left rear quarter panel and basically wrecked the car without being wrecked. And so he kept it going straight. Obviously, he just lost a couple of positions. Now the 38 resides in 17th place here on the track because he's got some congestion right in front of him. The 24, Michael Carter, 5 of Matt Hayden, and Tony Ludy in the 8. Those 3 guys are running close niched here as we're going to go see the contact right there. Sends at 38 and got the little assistance to straighten them back out. Thankfully, no overcorrection was made.
I tell you what, that could have been way worse. I don't know whether to sit here and ask Kevin, whoa, what happened? Or, hey, thanks, man, because you definitely straightened me back out on that one.
Oh, he did for sure. So we continue to green flag here. We're on lap number 20. This lap on the back straightaway. And the 28, Ryan Bean's got a nice little 7 to 8 car length advantage over the second place 34 Nolan Potter, who has held that position since he passed the number 45 Nathan Campbell on the restart. And they're just slowly separating themselves from one another here in this top 5, getting pretty comfortable almost halfway through this first stage.
Yeah, you're looking at a half a second separation between first and second, another quarter of a second separation between second and third. And they're just spreading out, like you said, Jeremy. So these guys here are in long haul. Their goal right now is to make it to 55 for that stage break. That's what they're waiting to do. Playing it smart, like I said, the first side by side that we really have still. You have Richie Coy and Modesty still going at it. Just flip flop rolls now. Coy on the inside, Modesty on the outside. So these 2 drivers have been duking it out here over the last 2 laps.
These guys, for most of this green flag racing, have been nose to tail or door to door. We're 22 laps into this thing, and they have not relinquished one another at this time. Right now, there's a little bit of extra gap that we have not seen, so let's see if the 6 of Rusty can get back to Richie Coy to continue this little fun battle on the track. This is for 11th and 12th place, respectively, by a lot of this field has single filed out. Dustin, they're going to take the easy approach here. 11 of Alexander Hodge. As soon as I say that, he's going to go to the inside on the number 2 of Strength and All here. Is going to be followed by the number 26 Blake Howell, as the number 2 can fall back 2 spots here this lap.
Yeah, right there, the little bit of help. Draft does play a factor at this track here. It can suck you back up to the car in front of you, and it can also give you a push as well. You can put a little bumper to them like what you see drivers do at super speedway races, but you got to be very careful at it, and it's got to be very minimal because these cars are already on edge. I mean, we've seen what happened with Kevin Zabladil there. Got loose and tried to correct it, and it snapped. So you don't want to put these cars in a precarious predicament, this early in the race. Coming down to the wind, you might see drivers, reach real deep into that bag of tricks that they have there and try to pull something out. But this early in the race, Jeremy, only 25 laps and circuits on the board right now. I agree. I think they are just in conservation mode. They're just trying to tick some laps.
You figure out exactly how that timer is gonna work for you. I know with the open setups you can kind of figure that out, but on the fixed setup, some people don't get the practice that they need. So they're kind of filling out the car on the long run for the first time all week. And so get all the surprises out of the way. read the temperature, read the percentage of tire wear, and go from there. As we got a little bit of action on the track here around the number 8, Mr. Anthony Ludi, as he has got a couple cars right around him. That's the 38 of Catrone right in front, the 24, Michael Carter right behind him. They kind of space out there after that little 2x2 there, entrance of turn number 1. 32 Kaylee also right behind us. Nice little 5-car battle. But again, this is outside the top 10. This is for 14th through 18th right now in the field.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I mean, that's where a lot of our racing action, seems to take place, is right there around the top 10, top 15. I tell you what, these drivers week in and week out always put on one heck of a show right around here. And the crazy thing is, Jeremy, is they'll put on a show like that, but I mean, they keep it clean and respectful all the way through. They put on a hell of a show for the viewers out there.
They really do. And right now you're seeing a lot of respectable, good, hard racing right now. They're getting close to each other. They're not trying to make contact. We've seen a couple of incidences so far that just was on pure accident with someone else's reaction there. As we're looking still on this group of cars here, we're seeing a pass now. The number 2 is Zach Strenthenall trying to get that position back from number 11 of Alexander Hodge. This is for 7th place. Of course, the inside of Texas is typically the preferred lane, especially when you're running a fixed setup. You cannot build your car the way you want to rotate the top half of this track, especially in turns 1 and 2 where it's a little flatter and that corner that's a unique corner exit. No other track has it, where it just flattens out super early. You just got to hope the car sticks, and that's why there's a lot of cars that have issues there, and you call it the coffin corner for a particular reason. That's because you just cannot maintain grip if your car's loose off that corner exit.
Yeah, and you can't maintain grip, and like you said, it flattens out so fast, and that's another issue too. A lot of the times when cars get loose in the corner, you have the banking to try to help you a little bit with that centrifugal force and the D push that's on there. When you come out of turn 2 here at Texas, it's flat. There's not a whole lot there. I mean, it's like you're driving on a dirt track that has no banking, and it's going to break loose real quick. And it in the end, I mean, that's what causes a lot of problems with the drivers. They don't have that little bit of assistance from the track banking because it's just non-existent.
And I think now the farthest moving driver in the field tonight just cracked the top 5 for the first time, and that's going to be the number 26, Blake Howell. Started 18th, now in the top 5 with a pass of Adam Boughton last lap there on the back straightaway. So score this man plus 13 on the board so far. We're only 31 laps in.
Yeah, plus 13 for Howell. The other big mover that was tied with him at that restart, Kevin Ruff, plus 11. But Jeremy, this is no surprise for Blake Howell. I was actually more surprised at how deep in the field he started, because he was the fastest in practice. So seeing where he started so deep in the field, I mean, that tells me he had some problems in qualifying, and it probably wasn't intentional to start that deep in the field. And all that means now is he has to work twice as hard to get back up to the top 5 like he did. But then, Jeremy, in the back of your mind, you got to start thinking, how much did I burn off these tires? At what point in time do you have to start rolling off, kind of backing the corner up a little bit, let that right rear cool down a little bit more, just to try to conserve to hit that lap 55, which is in 22 more laps.
Yeah, to kind of go off that for his qualifying, he ran a 30.1 and a 30.3, and his practice time was a 29.6, so literally a half a second off the pace both laps. So just could not get that car gripped up. Probably got wicked loose on the second lap, which that's where we saw a lot of the faster times posted was on lap 2. That's just something that most drivers do, is they give the first lap as a throwaway, get themselves for the one lap that you get, which is lap 2. And if you don't stick it, you're finding yourself in the back, and that's probably exactly what happened to that number 26. But he's making up for it, still moving strong. And we got 22 laps before we're going to get the stage break. So when this guy gets 4 fresh virtual Goodyears on that car, this top 5 run might put him top 3, top 2, or potentially battling that race win for that 28 Ryan Bean.
Yeah, who Ryan Bean is out to an 0.8 of a second lead right now over 34 Brock Potter. He's just, since that restart, he is just checked out, which is not uncommon. We've seen that with the 28 camp a number of times. But the thing that he's got to be watching is some of these drivers that are making moves, that, they may be wearing their tires out a little bit, making the moves to get there, like the 26 of Blake Howell. But when they're on the same set of tires, what's that going to pose? I mean, you look back at Richie Coy as well and Brian Fine. Those guys were battling back outside the top 10. They've moved up now into 8th and 9th. So it seems like to me they were conserving, saving their tires a little bit more. Now they're starting to come on strong. So that's something that Bean's got to keep in the back of his mind, watching some of these drivers move up on his relatives.
100% there. We're going to shout out one of our partners here at the RSR Next Gen Cup Series, and that's going to be Admin Box. It's built by iRacers for iRacers to be utilized in league and hosted races. The goal is to make race control as easy as possible for race admins, either racing or providing race control. Each admin box connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands, so no key binding required for race control, driver function, and pit options. It is LED backlit and makes buttons highly visible in any situation. So check out their pricing plans at adminbox.com, and you see that green promo code just above the logo at the bottom of your screen. That's RSR-BOXX, and that's going to save you 10% whatever you do purchase from Admin Box.
Yeah, and as you were going through that, we seen the 5 of Matt Hayden tag the wall there, exiting that dog leg that out of the quad oval. That's not uncommon, Jeremy. You're probably going to see that a number of times this race. That is super hard going through those dog legs like that because the track is so flat, and your car, believe it or not, carries a lot of speed through those dog legs. And sometimes that's that last wall there in between that last dog leg and turn 1, it creeps up on you pretty fast, and a lot of times a lot faster than what you expect.
Yeah, if you remember that wreck that we saw last night with Nicholas Moreau in the 15, he was in the dog leg on the center of it really slow, and then there was a car that came up right behind him and had nowhere to go. You can't go high like you saw the 5 did, because if you were to move up, that kink is too sharp. You cannot turn the wheel hard enough to keep it off the wall. And so he entered the first kink about that same distance, about halfway up the track, and it is very hard to keep that car from it because it's a sharp little angle. And but it doesn't look like it's hurt his performance. He's still kind of gaining on the 6-yard Rusty late in this run here, as we're focused now on the James Catrone 38, the 24, as well as Michael Carter and the 1 of Sheffield having a nice little 3-car battle. This is a position right now for 16th, 17th, and 18th. Oh, and the number 5 gets really loose on the front straightaway. 6 makes contact to the outside wall. Tony Ludi in the 8 is going to split the gap, get a 2-for-1 on the front straightaway. So a little bit of car damage to the 6 and 5.
Yeah, and that's not good, Jeremy. I mean, these cars can be, it's like 6 and 1, half dozen the other. These cars can be tough, but at the same time, they can be as brittle as a toothpick. Body-wise, they are very resilient. The issue is their internal components at times seem like that they are as brittle as a toothpick, and sometimes does not take much for that, for anything to break. I don't know if maybe it's tire issue or maybe a little bit of damage, but the 6 of Rusty Modesty, Jeremy, this last half lap has been way out of shape. As you see him go way high and yield to the other drivers, he was loose going through those dog legs.
Yeah, he's just going to have to hang on until they get the pit road to assess the damage. Hopefully get that thing completely repaired. Nothing required, so that's good as he remains on track here. Oh, the 38 Catrone almost trying to take him off the track here. Gets wicked loose right in front of the 24. And the 6 here able to save it. The 38 of Catrone needs some tires himself. He has been loose for the past 5 or 10 laps. He's running on ice here, but thankfully 13 laps before we get that caution.
My goodness. Okay, so we know he's the birthday boy. That has been 3 saves that we have seen on Nerd TV tonight by this guy. My question is how many candles are on his cake? If somebody can tell us how many candles are on his cake, because he's burnt through 3 of those candles already. So at some point in time, he's going to be running out. He definitely wants to get some fresh rubber underneath that car there and, try to take a stab at this here, because as many times as he's gotten loose, Jeremy, and he's slid that car, those tires are screaming at him. That increases the tire wear, and that's made it more difficult for him. So he's ready for this stage break to get some fresh tires.
Sheila Geary on YouTube saying, keep on moving 26. And Dustin, to answer your question, hopefully James Catrone has 38 of them. He has 35 more to go through if that's the case. Just because that's his number, and that's a lot of candles. So, I mean, that's a lot of chances. Hopefully, you don't have to use all those up. That'd be a crazy night all by itself. But Blake Howell, the 26, has moved up to 4th place now. And still, he's just over 2 seconds back of the race leader, able to pass all these cars and not lose much ground on the leader at the same time. It's quite remarkable. So, when this stage break happens, stage 2 comes out, I expect Blake Howell to put on a great show for the race lead because that car is just not letting up here in this long run even.
And it hasn't really. I mean, and here's the thing too. I mean, Blake's been smart about it. There's been a number of drivers out here, that have done this very thing. He's been very smart when he makes his passes. He chooses his passes, and he gets it done fast. He doesn't race side by side to lower the amount of tire wear on those tires. He gets it done. We've seen Richie Coy and Rusty Modesty race side by side for lap after lap after lap, and that wears down on those tires after time. You know, uh, Blake Howell and a number of other drivers, another one is Nolan Potter. When he was going up, he didn't spend a lot of time next to a car. When he went for a pass, he completed the pass, and it was done. And that's how these drivers are moving up through the field. They are being very meticulous on when they're making their move.
Yeah, you kind of have to be, especially if you're trying to see what the tire fall off is going to look like for the long run here, which we are absolutely getting at this time here, late in the. Oh, we got a car in the grass here. The number 92 of Clint Moda mowing the infield front straightaway here directly down the middle. Please turn the car. He finally does. Keeps it on the lower half of the racing surface. Thankfully, no one was coming up right there immediately behind him. We go to the Nerd TV replay and take a look here, and just gets loose. Yep, it sends him right down the middle. iRacing has implemented a little bit of grip in the grass as of 2 weeks ago on their big quarterly update. So that might or might not have helped that 92 stay straight through the whole entire infield.
Oh, he is definitely loving iRacing for doing that right now, as are the other drivers on his merge back up there. I love how they're able to maintain control, and they don't get a yield penalty or anything else because they're already losing positions. But I love how that has prevented a lot of big-time accidents and catastrophe. Because, Jeremy, if you remember, before that extra grip was added to the infield grass like that, drivers would go down there and it would almost like you're hitting a sheet of ice. If you would turn the wheel even slightly, that car would start sliding. If you happen to turn it to the right and it starts sliding to the right, you had a hard time preventing it from coming right back up into racing traffic. And that was one of the reasons why iRacing added just that touch of extra grip.
One of those features that we had for 15 years where it was always the exact same amount of grip, and the moment they give it to us, we just want to forget how bad it was before and like to move forward with that one. So yeah, thankfully I was there to assist the 92. Don't have to no longer drive on grass. I know some of the open wheel stuff, it actually has too much grip and almost wants to grip roll me. So hopefully it's kind of, mediocred out as the season progresses. But we have a battle here on track. This is for 4th place. Brock Potter wants that spot back from Blake Howell, who is finally starting to feel the long run effect of passing 14 cars. And let's see if he can hold off the 4 for 3 more.
Yeah, and we were wondering when this was going to happen, because at a certain point in time, these tires level out, they equalize out, and 14 cars, Jeremy, at Texas, that's a lot of cars to start since the drop of the green flag. So I mean, even for Blake to be where he's at right now, still in 4th, only has a couple more laps. We're at 53, stage break is at 55. He just has to hold off a couple more. Even if he loses a position to Brock Potter, he's still up 13 positions, still in the top 5. So either way, he's put a lot of those drivers there. As you see, a lot of blocking going on there. Wow, man, Hal knew that he was going to try to make that move, predetermined that, went down and took his line away. Already, man, they are trying to go for every stage point they can, Jeremy.
Yeah, right now, Blake Howell is 3rd in points, only 7 back of Ryan Bean from what I'm seeing on the charts. And so he needs every single stage break to keep him as close as he can for the top 5 in the points. So he's going to block. He's going to do what he can here. It's basically coming to the end of a shortened race, if you will, on these stages to get those extra bonus points. 1 point per position that you're up within the top 10. So 1st place gets 10, 10th place gets 1. See a little wiggle there from the guys right in front of him. At least that's a lap down car. Oh, he's going to cut up the 26, almost make him a little quick move to the inside lane there. It doesn't look like it's going to affect the 26 and the 4's line as we have a half a lap to go.
Yeah, half a lap to go. And talking about stage points, Jeremy, we want to remind everybody out there that this is the first race of their playoffs. So playoffs, those drivers are locked in. They are trying to get every point they can. Every stage point is going to count. As you see right now, as we complete lap 55, we got to wait for the top 10 to cross. Once they do, the caution will be thrown. Right there is your Roasted Gems caution flag. Your top 10 locked in. Ryan Bean will take that. But as I was stating, all these drivers are trying to get as many stage points as they possibly can because points are going to come at a premium.
Yeah, and to touch on that too, which, for me, I should have brought this up a little sooner, but their season it's a longer regular season and it's a really shortened version of the playoffs. Instead of having 3 races cut, 3 races cut, 3 races cut, it's 2 races cut, 2 races cut, 2 races cut. So you have 2 races before you move to the 16, or move to the 12 rather, then the 8, and then the championship 4. So yeah, it's this race in Talladega. And Talladega is a wild card race. So this is your only normal style racetrack to maximize points. And you just kind of cross your fingers and hope for the best at Talladega. And so I don't blame the 26 for trying to be a little aggressive to maximize every stage point he possibly can there. And he was able to hold off the 4 of Brock Potter. But Dustin, I think, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say on that before we go to our picture-in-picture was absolutely, I mean, that's one thing. This is the only track these drivers can, for the most part, guarantee a solid run. Because like you said, Talladega is a wild card. It could be one slip-up and you could be involved in the big one, and that's going to end it. And, shorten it down from 3 races before the cutoff to 2, like I said, man, I mean, points are going to be, they're going to be crucial.
100% there. But now, since they're on pit road, we will kick it over to that picture-in-picture, and we'll be back shortly before the drop of the green flag for stage number 2. And back here at a full screen as we are getting ready to go to stage number 2. Got a half lap before we get the green flag. We're going to resume this race on lap 61. And remember, we have 135 laps before we see the end of this thing. We saw the long green flag run happen already, and people now know what they have to be in store for. But watch out for this 26. Blake Howell is going to be a man on the mission. I expect him to at least contend, if not pass, and get a state or a lap-led bonus point in this field here. But we got the 45 Nathan Campbell alongside his teammate, the 28 Ryan Beam. 45 did not have a great restart, the last one we did early on in this race. Let's see if he can get that a little cleaned up and be a little more competitive on the start. Pace truck is down. Side by side, Ryan Bean elects to choose the outside lane. Let's see how this is going to play to his benefit. Green flag is out. Gets a great launch. Going to get him by another 2 car lengths here. The 45 looks like he had a pretty stable restart as the 26 and everybody else on back has the same car space as they go to 1.
Yeah, and at the end of that stage, just before that stage come to a conclusion for stage 1, the 45 of Nathan Campbell was chasing down and closing up on the 28 of Ryan Bean at the end of that run. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. But now that they're all on fresh tires, we're going to see what's going to go on. We're going to see what the 45 can do. If he can close up, we're going to see what this 26 can do now on fresh tires. Right now, he's in a side-by-side battle with the 34 of Nolan Potter. They got real close there, didn't make contact, but got close coming out of turn 4. Still side-by-side as they go through 1 and 2.
They got a long tail of cars right behind them, side by side, still on the back straightaway. You see that huge line of single file cars until Richie Coy wanted to make a stab there. And going through turns 3 and 4, a little weaving and wobbling. Alexander Hodge was that car that got passed by the 19 of Richie Coy. That pass is complete on corner exit. Surprisingly, the 34 and 26 still hanging on side by side for over an entire lap at this point. 34 looks to have the advantage, though.
Yeah, it looks like the 34 of Nolan Potter finally edged him out there. Probably a smart call. If the 26 of Blake Howell slowed up enough to let him pass, not a bad idea. If you guys recall, I had stated that running side by side like that it's going to be detrimental to your tires. So you don't want to do it early off. You got a lot of laps. These guys already showed that they could do a long green flag run. But we have a pass for the lead, Jeremy. While that was going on, the 45 of Nathan Campbell did catch his teammate of Ryan Bean and did complete that pass. So mark the 45 of Nathan Campbell as your new race leader.
New race leader, and only the 3rd car in the field to lead the lap here in the hashtag Logan Strong 265 laps now in this race. The 28 of Ryan Bean's not letting go at all, running right up to the back bumper of Nathan Campbell into 1, trying to make that car make some type of mistake with the aero sensitivity in these things. Does not get anything from the 45 this time. They still have a nice little 10 car length breakaway from 3rd place on back.
Yeah, these guys are, they're driving pretty hard. My fear would be tire conservation. You see the 45, I don't know if he made wall contact there coming off of 4, but if he didn't, it was pretty close, Jeremy. And you got to be careful there because that wall comes up on you. You carry a lot of speed going through 3 and 4 because you have that wide turn 4 exit where turn 2 sits here and straightens off and cuts off. That turn 4, you have that wide exit due to going into that first dog.
I went back and took a look. He did not make contact, at least on my end, off of turn 4 last lap. So thankfully so, his car is still 100%. Ryan Bean really just hanging on as close as he can. Looks like the turn 4 exit is Ryan's strong suit at this time. 3rd place Nolan Potter trying to find a lane to get a little bit quicker here, as Blake Howell has surprisingly to me not been pulling forward as quick as he did it in that first stage.
No, and like I said, I don't know. He could be conserving tires, Jeremy. Remember, he moved up 14 spots from his starting spot to make it to the end of stage 1. So, he's seen how much it burned off, and he's seen that, 1, these drivers can go the long haul like that. They went a solid green flag run. So he knows they can go the long haul. He might be conserving a little bit more. Richie Coy, right back there, I've seen he's moved up a number of spots as well. He seems like he's driving differently than what he did in stage 1, Jeremy. As he gets a little loose, a little apron tag there, but from what we've seen before, it seems like it's a little different. Is the two, oh, contact there between Howell and Schrittenthal through the dog leg as they come out going into turn one. A little bit of door smack back and forth. Is they're still side by side, Jeremy?
A dangerous part of the track right there to make door-to-door contact, and then get more here off turn two. Direct heat. It looks like the 26 is going to get a little bit of extra draft there, but he has to check up for corner entry. Big check up there. The 2 takes the spot, but then the 2 is that
crossover
really gets loose. Going to set up that crossover there for Blake Howell. The 26 now gets directly side by side with Zach here. Just don't make contact there in the tri-oval, because that will take out a night or for someone. Thankfully, they're still going here.
That's a split-second reaction right there, and that's what these drivers do. Schrittenthal had that position, but went into the corner because he carried so much speed, had a little bit of a wobble, and had to chase it up the track. And in that split-second moment, you seen Blake Howell perform the crossover, cut right across his bumper, and take that inside lane to take that pass. And actually, Schrittenthal is going to lose 2 spots out of that whole exchange as Richie Coy passes him now. Mark Richie Coy up to P6. And I tell you what, at the way it's going, that 68 of Andrew Little is also closing in, and he's got a lot of hungry drivers behind him. So Schrittenthal's got to get a handle on that number 2 before he loses more positions before this whole rotation's done.
It is so hard to cool off the tires at the same time trying to hold a spot inside the top tier here for the RSR Next Gen Cup Series, because everyone's just so competitive. You can't really give up too much on the track, but thankfully for him at Texas, it's such a bottom feeder track. You kind of have to have that bottom to pass unless you just know exactly what you're going to do on the person you're going to pass on the outside here. As you're looking through the field, everyone is still just single file, and I think, Dustin, this is going to be a great time to kick up the turn up the 2s. We're going to listen to the sound of these next-gen cars go around Texas Motor Speedway. back here to the focus on the racing action here. That was the sights and sounds of these next-gen cars going around Texas Motor Speedway, virtually, of course, on the iRacing platform. And nothing's really changed out here except for the 28 and the 45 just continuing to the flip-flop positions and putting on a really strong run. They hold a 1.7-second advantage over third and fourth place, Nolan and Brock Potter, at this time. So they're just kind of setting sail. Fifth place now, that number 19, Richie Coy, is moving up a little bit through this field since the drop of the green flag on lap 61, so 20 laps to go. And then it's really just a battle, Dustin, of Stealth Motorsports and SJR Racing. Those two teams hold the top 11 positions in tonight's race so far.
That is just mind-boggling. Like you said, I mean, it's Stealth Motorsports and SJR Racing. I mean, you know, they're battling it out. But I mean, these drivers, Jeremy, this is something.
Number 2, Zach Threnthal cuts the grass there, gets loose, almost cuts up in front of Sheffield, almost makes some contact. Now he's getting passed by Brian Fine, the 57, and resumes back onto the racing surface at speed. As we're going to see here off of turn 4, just had a checkup for Blake Howell. Got the car loose, sent him into the infield momentarily, and thankfully no one was collected.
No one was collected, but I tell you what, I mean, these cars are so aero sensitive. You know, just a checkup like that there, you know, just packed the air on that front nose like that, I mean, it weight jacked the entire back end. Kicked it sideways, excellent heads-up driving. Again, Trenthal is another fan of that iRacing update with that little additional grip in the grass. So, guarantee you we have 2 fans tonight for that update that was just done. But I tell you what, Jeremy, I mean, the amount of saves that we have seen, I mean, so many near misses, so many incidents that have happened that could have been way bigger. I mean, collected way more cars and have literally turned into nothing is astronomical, to say the least.
Yeah, 100% here. We're 2/3 of this race. So I'm going to kind of go over the point standings at this time. Really, the top 10, other than one driver, has been kind of maintaining their pace right now in the playoffs. Ryan Bean started this thing with a 5-point advantage, of course, winning all those races. Had the advantage over Nate Campbell. Blake Howell was 3rd. Jade Catrone was 4th. Rusty Modesty 5th. And this is where it gets interesting. 6th place coming into the playoffs, Harold Watkins in that 23. He was involved in that first wreck early on in this race, currently 6 laps down, scoring at the moment 28th place. So that's going to drop him below the cut line if nobody else follows behind. So that's huge implications there for that 23. Nolan Potter running up in the top 5 right now. He's 7th in points coming in. Adam Boughton 8th. Calvin Ruff 9th. Alexander Hodge holds 10th place in points. And that's basically where they're sitting at on the track right now. So they're all stationary. I'm just kind of curious to see where this 23 of Harold Watkins is going to end up at the race end.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing. You know, we had talked about it before, is, you know, only having 2 races. I mean, you have to perform tonight. Hard contact for the 82 of Stan Carnathan as he mows the grass too. I tell you what, at this rate here, they're not going to have to pay for lawn and garden service because this grass is going to be mowed down, all thanks in part to that turn 4 coming off there, Jeremy. We might have to sit here and dub turn 4 the coffin corner, because I tell you what, that's where these cars have been getting the loosest, or in that case, tight coming off and just tagging the wall.
Yeah, Clint Moda cut the middle of the yard there. Stan Carnathan cut the bottom, and then Zach Threnthal cut the top half. So they're definitely doing the track service members' jobs for them with their really expensive lawnmowers. As we stay green, though, continue to go single file for the most part in this race. Been a very casual Texas. This is exactly the Texas that I know, at least for the newly configuration part of it, is just continue to just run single file. It's really hard to make pass unless you're a couple guys out there like the 26 who, you know, destroyed the field on that stage 1 break there. Not doing so hot this time, but he's still overall up 11 positions in that 26.
Yeah, he's up 11 positions, but he is no longer the biggest mover right now, Jeremy, as it sits the number 1 of Michael Sheffield, and that beautiful Nerditudes car too. I was surprised that he pulled that out this week. I wasn't expecting that when we loaded in, but he's actually up 13 positions from where he started. just got done cracking the top 10. And speaking of cracking the top 10, the man with the hands himself, James Control, and the birthday boy, finally cracked the top 10 after not one, not two, but three near miss and fantastic saves that he had in stage one.
And that's also going to move him up 9 positions from the starting grid, too. So, 3 big saves, passing 9 different cars, and we're 2/3 the way in this race here. So the 38 has found a little something here letting it go in this race. And I would imagine where we started this race 30 laps ago, green flag. Right now they have about 45, 46 to go. So we're getting close to the halfway marker of stage 2 alone. So we're going to start seeing some pit road stops, I would imagine, the next 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'm going to say probably lap 100. I would say is pegging as a safe point. Now, granted, I haven't ran these cars at this track configuration, so I don't know the length. And Jeremy, we all know how accurate your notebook is. I'm glad you stopped bringing it to the tracks because man,
Not worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it at that point in time. I think we ended up doodling it more than anything else. So. But I would say at least probably around that lap 98 to lap 100 spot would be a very safe bet on that one there. We know that they can go 55 laps on a tank of fuel, but then given that 35 laps for that last run, giving your car enough time, especially if it stays green flag the way that it is right now, Jeremy, you're going to want a little time to try to make up and try to capitalize as much as possible.
First guy to hit pit road on the lead lap, the 68 of Andrew Little's going to give up 10th place here, 10th or 11th, somewhere in that ballpark, as he is the lonesome car to hit down pit road on lap number 93. So with that being said, I would imagine that door is now open for everybody else to start thinking, what do I need to do? Of course, the top 5, top 6, they're not worried about it. It's the guys around him on the track, somewhere between 8th through 15th. They're like, okay, this is the time, this is the strategy call. Do I make the early jump in?
Yeah, and this is not uncommon to see is somebody trying to undercut that pit. So with these tires, they have a fall off, Jeremy. And what did we calculate that fall off to be? About a second to a second and a half, roughly.
Yeah, roughly. I would say more toward the second and a half range, depending on the lap count on the tires. And them only having 30 laps, just over 30, as we've seen the number 11 now, Alexander Hodge, second car to head down pit road here. Only taker on lap number 94. But they're probably in that second to second and a half range. That's a good estimation there. We can kind of validate that at when the 11 gets back on track. And when the 68 turns a lap here with no competition behind him, you can really kind of tell Alexander, just to kind of pre-forecast that, 31.0, 31.2. That was his 2 last laps before pitting. And he's coming to the line now for the first time here. His fastest lap was a 30.0, so that's already a second up at the line he is, and 30.3. That's going to be just under 1 second faster.
Yep. So with that, what that means, undercutting the pits like that, these drivers are running a second slower on track than what you are. That means you are going to gain exponentially on that track with every passing lap that these drivers stay out there. The downside, the caveat to that is you are going to stay out as we got more takers right now. You got the 26 of Blake Howell, you got the 1 of Michael Sheffield, and the 8 of Tony Ludi, all hitting pit road right now, coming to the service of their crew. But what I was saying is the caveat to that is you are going to be out there longer on those tires. It's like the 28 of Ryan Bean is giving up that top spot coming in, so he is not going to let these drivers try to gain as much as they can on track. He wants to get those fresh tires to get his times down. Brock Potter also in, Zach Schrittenthal also coming to the service of his crew.
Smart call by Ryan Bean to come down pit road. He was getting passed on the outside by his teammate Nathan Campbell. He saw the window there. He knew he was getting passed, so he said, it is my time to come down. Just give it up right now. He's going to shortcut his only competition on the track, which I think is going to play huge for Ryan Bean in the closing of this race. But a lot of cars are on pit road right now. Ryan Bean, Brock, Zach Trenthal, Rusty Modesty. Right now, Richie Coy in the 19, who just come down pit road with the 99 of Kevin Ruff.
Oh, Kevin Ruff,
You
yep.
said Yeah, cabin rough. And so right now, 6-5, 4 cars in pit road right now.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that was the best call at this point in time, Jeremy. I know Nathan Campbell. We know he's got a fast car, but he can't stay out there, and it looks like he's coming down now. So he must be having us queued up on the broadcast, because that's exactly what I was going to say. You can't stay out there much longer. He stayed out 2 additional laps after his teammate Ryan Bean came in. That means Ryan Bean's not going to gain near as much as what he possibly could. But the longer that Nathan Campbell would have stayed out there, that's just that much more distance in between, Campbell and Bean that Bean would have had for the lead. So this right here, it's a dog and pony show. I mean, you got to take a lot. You see the 5 of Matt Hayden in, but you have to weigh it. I mean, you have to guess. Some drivers will stay out hoping for a caution. With the way these drivers are running, though, Jeremy, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. These drivers were running very, very good, very clean. So I think this is the right call to get in and get your service done as the 57 of Brian Fine hits the pit road.
Yeah, we're a good chunk of this cycle through right now. Nolan Potter gave up the race lead to come down that time by number 10 of Adam Boughton has scored your race leader at the moment here, and it looks like he's not going to come down pit road, so he's going to stay out 1 additional lap. We've seen Adam Boughton stay out late in several instances here to play that strategy call. Maybe hoping for that caution is about the only thing that's going to benefit this 10 from staying out this late into the run, is we're over lap 100 and 102 at this time. So 34 laps to go in this hashtag Logan Strong 200. And we're just waiting about another 6 or 7 cars, and we're going to get this thing fully cycled through.
Yeah, and, some people may ask, well, if you know you're losing that much time on the track, why would you stay out, and not just come in? The hope is possibly a caution would come out, because if you look at your scoring tower on the right side of your screen, only 7 cars are on the lead lap, one of them being your leader. If a caution comes out now, the rest of the field from 8th place on back is going to get trapped a lap down. That means they're going to have to stay out to get a wave around, and that means that these top 7 can then turn around and come in and get fresh tires. It's going to be to their benefit. It's a big gamble. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Kind of studying it, this is exactly what's going on, because if you recognize the guys in the top 7 right now, minus the 10 and the 38, like Jerry Culver, Stephen Rasick, Kane Lee, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., these guys have not been in the front of the field. They've been on the tail end of this race all night long. So the fact that they're staying out, they're all banking on that caution to put all the fast guys behind them. Of course, they're going to get a little wave around, but still, though, the fact that they're going to have older tires, they'll have a better competition, or at least competitive edge to stay in front. As we're seeing the 10 there, Adam Boughton giving up the race lead.
Yep, Adam Boughton coming to the service at his crew. That's going to wow, it's going to move the birthday boy, James Catrone, up. And look at these cars coming up to him right now. These guys are passing him like he's sitting still. This is the difference between old tires and new tires, as you see right behind Catrone, the 17 of Zabladil now rejoins the surface. Oh my goodness, that was a crazy cut. That right there could have been catastrophic, Jeremy, as the 38 comes down pit road.
Could you count out the 4th candle being burnt out?
Yeah, I would count that as the 4th candle being burnt out for sure, because that was good heads up for the driver that he cut down in front of there. So that is going to put Jerry Culver out front leading a lap. He is going to come around this time to lead that lap there. So you're going to mark the 13 of Jerry Culver with a bonus point for leading a lap. So it's good to see Jerry Culver up here running. And again, he's still one of those drivers that is waiting to see about trying to, that caution coming out. The bad thing is, Jeremy, is see all these drivers passing him, like Matt Hayden there on the inside. These drivers are getting their lap back the hard way. So that means that that's less drivers that are a lap down and more that are going to be on the lead lap. So at some point in time, you got to try to gamble it. I can't see these cars making it. There's no way they're going to be able to make it from the restart for stage 2 all the way to the end at lap 135 on fuel. So he's going to have to hit pit road at some point in time.
Yeah, Jerry Culver, that is absolutely true. You're not going to do it. There's just no way you have that big of a fuel tank. And if you do, you're gonna be tagged for an illegal part inside that car for sure. And Jerry Culver started 24th, did not post super competitive times. He was like 3 or 4 tenths off the fastest practice time.
Ooh.
And so to play the long game right now, strategy-wise, is the only chance Jerry has anything to do inside this top 10, top 15. So he's going to run this thing dry. He's going to take the very last lap he possibly can and then finally come down pit road. And here we go. This is exactly why we stay out and play a strategy. Jerry Culver is going to benefit huge as we have our third caution presented by Roasted Jim's Coffee on the surface on lap 109. Huge.
That is huge on that one. And that's why. I mean, if you look, there's only 15 drivers on the lead lap. It'll be 16 because it looks like the birthday boy is going to receive the lucky dog as he's the first driver 1 lap down. But that is going to be huge. Track position is so vital here that it, you know, that was a good call, Jeremy. I'm going to call it. I mean, that worked out in Jerry Culver's favor. And, oh, we see the contact there between Potter and Howell there as they were going down. We're going to have to get another look at that. And that's unfortunate because I do believe Brock Potter was going to be the lucky dog. But because he had contact, it moves to the 38 of Catrone.
Yeah, Brock Potter was definitely involved in that. He's in the number 4 car right there. Just the 26 Blake Howell went to the bottom to make a pass, which is clean. But then Brock made the late cut to block that move and spun himself out. Look at that. That's a very clean 362. He
the 11
perfectly.
Of Hodge.
Yeah, then 11 of Hodge had nowhere to go. Then look at, I think that was Zach Strengthen on the 2, just rim right in the upper half of turn 3 to sneak between him and the 4. So really close.
We're going to watch Richie Coy.
2.
Watch Richie Coy here on this. Look how close this is. Woo! I guarantee you if we talk to Richie Coy right now, if he had a white driver suit, it's probably not white anymore because you can't get it any closer than that.
Yeah, that was really close there. If we can get a view of maybe the number 2 of Strength and all going through that wreck is maybe our final clip as we're going to jump back for that angle we do believe here on the back straightaway. You see the wreck happening there. He's like, I don't know where to go. I'm going to go up high. I'll go the car. Oh, that was the car below. Okay. So I got to figure out.
And you've seen that contact there with Alexander Hodge. Hodge just had nowhere to go. They're right at the tail end of that one. And that's an unfortunate set of circumstances there for Hodge. Because, I mean, he had nowhere to go there. I mean, he was trying to, what Hodge was trying to do, he was trying to judge where the 4 of Brock Potter was going to go. You know, as he goes in, he sees the car go up high. He goes, okay, he's coming down. No, and he was already making his turn up, and then he seen Brock turn up, so then he had to turn down, but he was already carrying too much speed that, with the momentum that Brock was coming down, Hodge thought he was going to go down to the bottom of the track. It was going to be a self-cleaning track. And, Brock, turned the wheel to the right, brought it back up, and there just wasn't enough time for Hodge.
And also, side note, too, Blake Howell was 3rd in points with that wreck there. I don't think he suffered much damage at all. But the other guy at number 4 of Brock Potter coming into this thing 11th in the points, 16 back from the lead, and only just a couple spots away from the cutoff line. That's going to be huge for that 4 car to get that thing repaired and up and going. But I think we're going to jump into a quick picture-in-picture commercial break. Be back before the drop of the green flag. And back to full screen here as we got a quarter lap before going back to green flag action. The number 28, Ryan Bean, electing to take the inside lane on this restart. Teammate 45, Nathan Campbell, same partner he's had all night long. These guys have been P1, P2 for a while. But the strategy calls put some of these guys up front, like the 68 of Andrew Little. We go green flag there, and once more, Stealth Motorsports just clears the second row, no problem whatsoever. Now the 68 is going to battle the 28 or 26 rather of Blake Howell in the middle of 1 and 2. The 68 gets a little loose there in the center. It's going to allow the 26 of Blake Howell to make a good strong run on corner exit 2. He's all but clear entering turn number 3. Richie Coy tries the really high lane. Looks like it might work, but we're going back to caution flag here once more as we got another wreck on the track. It looks like this time involving Stephen Rasick in the 21 at minimum, and maybe a couple others involved.
Yeah, looks like the 21 involved here. That's close racing contact between the 21 and the 11 of Alexander Hodge. Oh, the 32 of Kane Lee. Oh, Jesus. I don't know who came in and just cleaned Kane Lee's clock, but my goodness.
Kind of watching this angle here on my view, it was close racing, but I can't tell if we can see if we get an angle on this one. There's the fender. It just kind of goes away from that camera angle. But it was just such close side-by-side racing. And then, yeah, just unfortunate circumstances for the 32 and a couple others.
Yeah, and the one that I seen there was the birthday boy himself, James Catrone. I would have to say he's older than 4 years old, so it looked like that birthday luck just ended up running out on that one there as he's involved in that situation as well. We're going to go and take a look at his view. He gets door checked and then up into the wall. He's back there behind the 32 of Kane Lee. You see Kane Lee is going to come in. He's going to get collected there. That's who cleaned the clock of Kane Lee. Oh, yeah. You see that fender bouncing? Yep, that whole tether, that wheel is done, Jeremy. That is 8 to 8.5 minutes of required repair right there. That is going to sideline the 38 of James Catrone.
20 laps left in the event. You are done. 8 minutes is going to maybe put you 5 to go, this and that. And so might as well just keep it on pit road. Well, I guess I say that, but then you see guys that are 6 laps down right now, like Harold Watkins, the 23. If you can try to stay out and not go 6 laps, you might make out. But at the same token, you have to get back on track as quick as possible. And 8 minutes is not really how you're going to do that.
No, and that's the bad thing about that. I mean, like we said, Jeremy, the bodies are very resilient on these next-gen cars, but the internal components, not so much. And the bad thing was that was a hard hit that Catrone made on the 32 of Lee, and an even harder hit to that outside wall, and just ultimately busted that right front tire. And you seen it bouncing around and everything else. It's tough because he was running so well, so many great saves, but just couldn't get away from that one, Jeremy. There was no way he was going to be able to. That hole closed up, and there was nothing there.
Incident deemed just that, a racing incident, so nobody going to the back of the line for that wreck involved with everyone on lap 113, as we're going to get 2 to go here, I do believe, before we're going to go back to green flag once more. This will restart this race on lap 119. We're going to jump to the Nerd TV replay to take a look at this one more time. Maybe you got a nice little chase camera and
oh, that air pocket that was there. That's a good call by race admins. From what we see up here in the booth, Jeremy, there was space there, but it was just that air pocket that just sent him around.
Yeah, it just kind of built up along the whole entire back straightaway, and the pressure was too strong, sent him around. That was unfortunate. I know they're running it closer, trying to get all the side draft possible to slow up the guy or try to propel you in front of the person that you're trying to pass. And something that's kind of out of your control really just shows up and says, hey, how you doing? And causes that 4th caution this evening. Not cool to see. And you guys got to be on standby now. You can't run door to door like that because the air pressure around these next gens are just too much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen that time and time again. I mean, sometimes it's a smaller amount, sometimes it's a larger amount, but it's an unfortunate product. You know, here racing in the top touring series that we have for NASCAR, here on the iRacing platform, And it's unfortunate because, like I said, I mean, it was just good, hard racing. I mean, it was nothing that Hodge did. It was nothing that Rasick did. You know, they were just running side by side, like you said, trying to get side draft, and ultimately something out of their control, you know, ended what would have been a solid run for, you know, them and a couple other drivers.
As we're gonna go green flag in one lap, and I feel like Dustin that Ryan Bean is just playing games with us for the field. Every single restart, he has chose the opposite lane. He was the bottom last time. Now he's going back to the top. So it looks like his relationship with the 45 is going pretty wealthy at this time. But we're going to see if that plays dividends once more. These guys have been getting such a huge jump over row number 2 and on back every single start. At one point, you got to think maybe Blake Howell is timing where exactly these guys are pressing the go button, and he has to compete with them on this restart to have any chance of dethroning the 45 and the 28 here.
Yeah, he can't let them get out to a big lead like that. Laps are winding down. He can't do that. This is the go time right now, and he's got a lot of hungry drivers. I mean, he's already up 15 positions. You have Michael Sheffield back there in the one is up 15 positions as well. A lot of hungry drivers. Richie Coy has been to the back, come back up to the front. The 68 of Andrew Little. I mean, he's been, you know, mid-pack. You know, pit strategy put him up there. He's had a fast car. They can't let these two front row drivers get out, Jeremy.
And we're going to see what happens here on the restart. Green flag is out, and the 28 course control in the start has his best restart, but the 45 did not separate from Blake Howell and Andrew Little here. Going to turn number 1, there's only a 1 car length separation between the 45 and 26. 26 is going to lose a little bit of ground here. The 34 slides up, almost makes contact to Andrew Little there. They go single file quickly through the top 7 or 8 here. And you see Michael Sheffield trying to pass Matt Hayden there in 5. Going through turns 3, that's about for 7th or 8th place. This whole field quickly, though, went single file.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. That was the best start that Blake Howell could have had on that one. You know, he sat here and let them go, got in line, you know, start getting it set into where he could start trying to chase these guys down. But Jeremy, the 28 of Bean and the 45 of Campbell, I mean, they're already starting to space it out right now. There's already a 0.4 of a second gap between Campbell and Howell, who Howell is now under fire from the 34 Nolan Potter. Nolan Potter to the inside. He's going to pass him through the first dog leg at the start-finish line. So mark the 34 of Nolan Potter up 3.
Move Stealth Motorsports now 1, 2, and 3 as the first driver in the SJR goes back to 4th place, that being Blake Howell. Richie Coy, his teammate of Blake Howell, moves up to 5th place with a pass over Andrew Little on the outside of turns 1 and 2. They're coming to the line, Dustin, to complete lap 1. 21, 14 to go this time by.
14 to go, and I tell you what, the racing right here for that 6th, 7th, and 8th position between Little, Trenthal, and Hayden has been so close. You couldn't even fit your arm in between the 5 of Hayden and the 2 of Trenthal going through the front stretch dog legs there.
Got to be careful of that one. We saw just a handful of laps to go. What can happen if you get too close to one another? But thankfully nothing to turn there. And the 68, Andrew Little just continues to fall back little by little by little. As the 5 of Matt Hayden this time looking to make that pass here. And not just a few, but a few laps to go, the number 45 finally dethroned Matt Hayden's fastest lap time of the session with a 29.786. It's kind of surprised Matt Hayden held on to that for so long, but finally dethroned here. And the 45 has all the speed. He's to the 28. He knows how his teammates run. And you see Richie Coy a little bit back. Also looking to make a pass on his teammate Blake Howell, and does so at the line, move Richie Coy to P4.
Yeah, Richie Coy on the move up. He's up to P4 right now. I know that we did not broadcast last week, but I know that Richie had a very strong run at Bristol late in the run and got involved in the typical Bristol racing. It's short track racing, baby. It happens. And, you know, didn't quite have the finish he wanted to. But I got to point you out, Jeremy, for making the unintentional little punny there, because you said Andrew Little was falling back little by little by little. So I don't know if that was intentional, but I chuckled on that one there, kind of like what we do with Brian Fine. Speaking of Brian Fine, he just made a pass on Kevin Ruff. He's in the 11th position right now, tailing the one of Sheffield. As Sheffield's putting a lot of pressure on the back bumper of that 68.
You know, I said it, and then I realized what I said, and so then I repeated it. So yeah, it's not unfamiliar territory for us to have some fun with some names, not only on the broadcast but absolutely just off the broadcast. It is 10 times crazier for us on our discords and whatnot. But racing is picked up just a little bit here mid-pack. This is right at 10th place. We're seeing this group of cars led by the number 68 of Andrew Little, which has been a little bit slower. So it's kind of bundled up. These guys a little bit more. It gets wicked loose in front of Sheffield. Sheffield's going to make the quick move to the outside, side by side, going to turn number 1. He's going to be able to make a good effort at this pass attempt. And Diamond's the outside a little bit. Going to get a strong run on exit. There we go. New spot for the number 1 car. Move him to P9.
Yeah, and he's got a whole line behind him too. Brian Fine, Kevin Ruff, all following behind him as well. And we have to point out Jerry Culver too. He's right in there in the mix. Remember, he was the driver that benefited, man. He made that gamble call. And I tell you what, Jeremy, it paid off. I mean, there was still a number of drivers that came back, but he stayed out as we got 3 wide right now between Little, Ruff, and Culver going through contact between Little and Ruff. Culver passes both of them on the outside, makes a 2-for-1 pass coming out of the corner.
Here's 68 come on the radio and say, it's not turning. Trying to give these guys a little bit of warning here. That was kind of sketchy. We see in the 68 loose. And then now going 3-1 on the bottom, you just gotta, like, especially if you're Kevin Ruff, you're holding your breath trying to get around the very loose car of the 68 at this time. It finally clears them. So everything has no problems there. We're going back to single file once more on the back straightaway here. A little bit of space has given out. Brian Fine, though, looking to pass Sheffield for 9th place, and has put his nose there a couple times since they made that pass over Andrew Little. But time's winding down. 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go. This is some of the best racing right here. I mean, these drivers are putting it all out. I mean, you see what it was a lap and a half ago, Jeremy, that 3-wide racing, you know, Culver making that pass, that 2-for-1 special on the outside. He's now under fire from the 99 of Kevin Ruff. Kevin trying to get by him, was not able to. And I tell you what, Jerry Culver has that high line working right now, but Jeremy, he also has the freshest tires, though, due to his strategy call. So that is helping him out quite a bit. And I tell you what, Kevin Ruff's having some problems with that number 13 trying to get by him.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling there. This is huge for Jerry Culver. You already touched on it, but it's just impressive that the strategy to stay out late actually worked for someone. And he is maintaining well in this top 15 as he slips back to 12th place to the 99 of Kevin. But jumping back to the top 3 here with just a handful of laps to go. Teammate of the 45 and 28, it's going to be Nolan Potter in the 34. He has closed the ground up entirely. And now he is only 1 car length or less on Nathan Campbell, and he needs to get around him quick. Obviously, he's faster, but can he get around him to get to his leading teammate there, Ryan Bean?
He's going to have to make quick work of him, Jeremy. I mean, 4 laps to go. I mean, he's come out of nowhere. He's chased him down because these guys were out to about an 0.8 of a second lead, maybe a little bit more when the 34 of Potter took over that 3rd position. So if he wants any chances, they pass for 3 to go. He's got to get around Campbell because he's going to need all the time he can to get around the 28 of Bean. Like we always say, Jeremy, it's easy to catch somebody. It's hard to pass him, as right now he puts his nose on the inside, side by side right now. 34 of Potter on the inside, 45 of Campbell on the outside. They go off into turn 3. He should have that benefit on that low line as the 34 will complete the pass. He now sets his sights on the leader, the 28 of Ryan Bean.
Last lap at the start-finish line, I made a mental note saying if he doesn't make that pass on the back straightaway coming up, he's lost it. And he made the pass. It's just now he's got to put the 2 best laps he's ran all race long together. And I think if a separation of a half a second, we're not going to see that. But anything can happen here. Lap and a half left to go here. Ryan Bean holds a nice, comfortable 0.4 of a second lead. Coming off turns 3 and 4. White flag is out, presented by absolutely nobody here. 1.5 miles left to go.
Yeah, as he sends it down. I tell you what, Potter is trying everything, but I think that deficit, that 4/10 of a second deficit, Jeremy, is going to be too much. He's going to need to have a mistake by the 28 of Bean to close that up in this last half lap of competition as they go in, getting a lot of pressure from the 45 behind. I just don't think Campbell can close up, though, as it looks like Ryan Bean's going to come off turn 4, coming to the line. Ryan Bean for another checkered flag. Congratulations. Winner of the hashtag Logan Strong 200 here at Texas.
Ryan Bean picking up his 7th checkered flag sticker of the 2023 B season and locks himself into the round of 12 with that victory.
Oh!
Congratulatory bump to the 45, and you see a little bit of wreck late in the going here after the checker flag. I think that was between the 2 and the 26. And it's either fun times or not so fun. And, well, this is why instant replay lives, Dustin.
Oh, my.
Hopefully that was just in the name of fun.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's post-race, but, you know.
Yeah, hopefully that was in the name of fun, but I don't know, Jeremy. That was crazy. But, hey, we are just up in the booth. We let the admins do what they have to, but yeah, I'm like you. I'm hoping that's just for the fun of it after race, just releasing any steam that you got there and laughing about it.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And Ryan Bean doing some burnouts here. Don't see him hitting the wall. I think he's finally learned not to do that after, you know, the first half of our broadcast here with the RSR Next Generation Cup Series, and doing a nice little reverse down the line burnout here, keeping it in a nice formation. I don't know if that's better or worse. I've not had a single victory in the next gen cars, even though I haven't tried as hard as I did the Gen 6. So I don't know if these straight line burnouts are better or worse with the wider tire base. But he finally loops it behind his teammate. Looks like that was controlled. We're going to go over the unofficial results here tonight. And Ryan Bean's going to take home P1, Nolan Potter 2nd, Nathan Campbell in 3rd, Richie Coy in 4th, Adam Boughton in 5th, Matt Hayden in the 5 and 6th place, Blake Howell 7th, Zach Strenthal 8th, Brian Fine in 9th, 10th place finisher Kevin Ruff, 11th place will be Jerry Culver with that awesome pit strategy to stay out late, 12th place Michael Sheffield rather, 13th will be Andrew Little, 14th Tony Ludy, 15th Rusty Modesty, 16th place it's going to be Steve Potter, 17th place Alexander Hodge, 18th Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., 19th and the last car on the lead lap will be the number 4 Brock Potter, and everybody else 1 lap down or more. 20th Richard Gonzalez, 21st Stephen Rasick, 22nd James Fitzmaurice, 23rd Stan Carnathan, 24th Harold Watkins, 25th Kane Lee, 26th James Catrone, 27th Clint Moda, 28th Michael Carter, 29th Justin Hendry, and Kevin Zabadil early exit out of this race. Going to finish 78 laps down in P30. And this is our time to go to a full screen commercial break, gather up tonight's top 3. We'll be right back. And welcome everyone to the Martin Sports Post Race Show. We have gathered up tonight's top three here to see what their final thoughts were for this hashtag Logan Strong 200 at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. And first person to come in is third place, the 45 of Nathan Campbell. Nathan, do you have a copy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey man, it's going pretty good up here. Pretty solid race for your team overall. Top three, of course, at the final podium spots, and just great teamwork all the way around. What was your strategy coming into this thing, and could you do anything with your teammate there, Ryan Bean, tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there was moments where I felt like I was faster than Bean, but that last run, he put the work in, and I was definitely trying everything that I could to get back up to him. And I just gotta say, what a drive by Nolan to drive back as far as he was and save a little there at the end and pass me. And I think if we had another 15, no, maybe 10 laps or so, I think he probably could have got Bean too. So hell of a drive by him, and I'm just glad that we're all here. It sucks for Harold getting taken out there early on with the Zabs incident, so that's unfortunate there. But I think we'll see some Stealth Motorsports moving into the next round. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was a huge hit there for the 23 camp. One of the playoff drivers, and to finish this race so far back. That's a lot of work to recover there for that team. And one final question too. I saw Nolan was doing great on that long run. We saw on our broadcast yesterday one of the drivers laid way far back, like sixth, seventh place, and then passed everybody like he had fresh set of tires. So
Wow.
it works here at Texas. It's huge, and
Yeah.
Nolan played that strategy almost to a T, right?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but my question was, with Ryan Bean restarting every single time in a different lane, he was going up, down, up, down. Did that kind of throw off wherever your markers were going to be for him on the restarts?
Um, no, not necessarily. I mean, I'm pretty used to the leader kind of picking and choosing, and there's certain people we want to give runs and certain people we don't want to give the runs to. So, I mean, that's just how we're going to play it every single time, and I think it's just how it's going to be in real life too. So, I know there was some complaining about team driving and things like that, but man, there's certain people you want to race, certain people you don't. So, it's just how it's going to go. And no, I wasn't too bad. I thought I was getting better jumps than what I was, but man, he was jumping out of that hole. So, a little frustrating there. I couldn't get closer on the restart, but all in all, it's just so hard to pass here. It's just insane, and we definitely had some give and take. Myself with Nolan, and being there at the end of the stage one there, definitely had some give and take. So we definitely know how to race around each other.
100% there. And yeah, I mean, you have a fixed setup, you're on a virtual team. So when you have teamwork, there's nothing you can do, right? Except for maybe a couple notes and then play the car strategy, right? So you got to put
Yeah,
people in positions to
absolutely.
help your team excel. So we can't fault you 100% on that. So regardless, though, congratulations on third place tonight. And final thoughts before we let you go.
Yeah, I just gotta thank everyone for watching like usual, and appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate you guys like usual. And I wish you would have caught my race last week, though. I got a win, and of course you're broadcasting. No
I'll
big
take the
deal,
blame
but
on
it's
that
just
one,
so
Nate.
funny.
That's
It's okay. It's okay because in the last few years, the same exact thing would happen. As soon as like the 1 week we don't have a broadcast, I would win. That's just how it is.
we caught you
But
winning one though, at least. I mean, we did have that
yes,
on
that's true.
broadcast though.
Atlanta. Yes, absolutely. Hopefully, we'll see some more, but we'll see.
So what he's saying is we need to go off air for him to win some more races and lock in
Yeah.
this championship.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't know if I like that idea, Jeremy. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, it's
No,
probably not a good idea.
I'd much rather have you guys here. It's a lot of fun being able to go watch it back and just see how you guys, what your take is on all the incidents that are on track. So it's definitely entertaining for us.
I appreciate the words there, man. Congratulations once more on P3, and good
Thank you.
luck at the wild card race at Talladega.
Yep, appreciate it. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yes, sir. And that was number 45 of the Mizuno Toyota Camry, Mr. Nathan Campbell. Now it's time to move to second place, driver of the Yelp Toyota Camry. It's 34 Nolan Potter. Congratulations on second place.
Hello.
You got a copy?
I do not. Are you there?
There we go. Yep, a little low on the volume, but I got you, man. So, congrats though, second place. Awesome job. The long run was yours. Your teammates had the short run locked up, but that last run, walk us through exactly what was your game plan. Did you want to lay back and then go for it toward the end, and did it work the way you wanted to?
Yeah, it worked the way I wanted to, I think. We ran a fixed earlier this week, and we were all in the same race and finished the exact same way. I was waiting for them to battle it out. Use their tires up a little bit more. I had one lap less on my tires, so I was hoping they started battling, and they were, and I was slowly able to chip away at them there late in the run. I really could get it down in 1 and 2 really well and hug the white line, and that kind of helped me propel me to the front there. So.
Well, definitely worked. And did you have anything else you could have done to overtake the 28 there late in the going there?
I think if I would have raced the 45 there a little bit more aggressive, I thought I had a run on him one time, kind of started getting squirrely, and I was really worried about maybe overcorrecting and moving up the track on him. So I backed out there on one run earlier, about a couple laps, but to get by someone, it took about a lap or two to really set it up, and I don't think I had enough time to get to the 28. So.
Gosh, man, yeah, definitely one of the hardest tracks to pass at the on the Cup circuit, anyways, for sure. And well, congratulations, one more on P2. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
You guys are doing a great job. Just gotta give you guys a shout out. It's great having you guys on board this year, and I look forward to going to next week. So.
Hey, man, good luck at Talladega. Anything can happen there, and hopefully
It's Dega,
nothing
baby.
too bad happens to you. Yeah,
Shake and bake. Let's
Take and
go.
bake.
that's right.
All right. Have a great night, guys.
You too. That was the number 34, Nolan Potter. And then now, Dustin, for the seventh time this season,
Wait
we're
a
going to
minute.
be
How
bringing
many?
in
How many?
7 times this guy has been in Victor Lane. Ryan Bean, congratulations for yet another checker flag.
Thank you. That one wasn't as pretty in terms of race pace, but we'll take it.
Yeah, Texas seems to be low key to me, but this week has proven otherwise. Pretty eventful drama throughout the 2 races that we've called here last night and tonight. Your team, you were up there. All 6 of you were, in the top 7, top 8 at one point, and minus the 23's fault early on in the going. Just great teamwork overall. And you got the win for the round of 12 lock in, so you don't have to worry about Talladega, which is excellent. I'm sure you're glad for that.
Thank God,
Um,
yeah.
so, what can you do to help your teammates for next week?
Well, as you said, we all had a great day today, and next week for me, I luckily I can do whatever I want in a sense next week. I don't have to worry about the win. So next week I think I'm just gonna focus on getting Harold back up to where he belongs points wise. I'm sure a lot of us will be doing that. I'm sure Nate will be in on that. Because as you guys have seen, we've had 2 plate tracks now. We work really well as a team at these plate races. We're able to get together pretty quickly. So we'll get Harold in the head of the train and hopefully do a little bit of dominating like we have been.
Yeah, it was a bad hit there for the 23 early on. He did finish 24th place, and I know he's probably going to be he's definitely below the cut line. It's going to be quite a few spots he needs to earn. So
Yep.
he just got things got to fall his way. Maybe get him into a victory situation to lock in the whole team. But man, 7 wins, like that's crazy for us to hear. As broadcasters for 2 years now, we've not seen that yet from a series we've called. So just awesome job out there all season long. And I'm sure you're looking or seem very excited for the final races here to kind of get your another championship.
Yeah, it's 7 wins or 8 wins, whatever it is. It's a lot, but these wins don't come easy. This league, especially teammates, they're pushing me to my limit. I think 5 more laps today. I think you have a different winner. I think you're talking to Nolan right here. He was just lights out on that last run there, and he's starting to dial it in because Kansas he was third, and Bristol he was running well. He got I think into an incident though, but so I mean everybody's starting to come alive throughout the team. Other than we having internet problems or getting bad qualifyings, getting stuck in the back, but everybody's got speed, and the wins are going to only get tougher from here, I'm sure. So that's why we keep coming back. These are fun to do, and yeah, just hope it can continue the momentum.
Yeah, 100% there. And I wish you guys good success the rest of the way. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
Yeah, got to thank the teammates. You see our work every Tuesday. You see the work of all of our practice throughout the week, and yeah, it's fun. It's only gonna get tougher though, as I said earlier. And yep, I got to thank the league, Ludi and Sheffield. This is good. A lot of drama today. I think it's good though. It's good drama. I like it when people fight because it means the product on track means just that much more. And I got to thank you guys up in the booth. Can't wait to watch this one back. And yeah, off to hopefully a nice little vacation at Talladega.
Yeah, 100% there, man. Have fun. Good luck with the team strategy, and hopefully things the fall they need to. But good, or have a good rest of your night, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thanks guys.
Yes, sir. And that was Mr. Ryan Bean, driver number 28 for his 7th checker flag of the season. Dustin, what a crazy stat. 7 wins, really.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's unheard of. I mean, we've been doing this broadcasting gig now over 2 years. We've had the privilege of calling a number of different leagues. Never seen a stat where we had 7 wins like that in a season. So, I mean, just a phenomenal stat for any driver like that. Definitely something that Brian should hold his head high on with that one there. But like he said, I mean, the team is stepping up. I mean, look at their finishes. I mean, they are setting the precedence right now. And it's pushing some of the other teams to step their game up as well. So I mean, it's that friendly co-opetition. It's there and it's helping everybody else. I mean, it's pushing.
Co-opetition. Is that a word you just come up with?
Co-opetition. I don't believe so. I believe that it was either Larry Mack or DW actually phrased and coined that back in the early 2000s. Co-opetition.
Of course, their southern accents would come through and create that.
You're right.
We're gonna close this thing down though, and of course we're gonna thank our sponsors one last time. Before we do so, so first and foremost, the league appreciates you guys for allowing us to do this every Tuesday with the RSR Next Gen Cup Series. It is the big title sponsor running or title series underneath the Evolution Racing League. So if you want to stay up to date with them and everything they have going on their league, go to facebook.com/RSR League. Best One Tire and Service, the Tuesday Night Cup Series sponsor. So if you're looking for a one-stop automotive repair and tire shop, visit bestonetire.com to find a location nearest you. Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers to be utilized in the league and hosted sessions. So visit them at adminbox.com. And Blake Howell Designs, if you need a one-of-a-kind design to showcase your sponsor, then look no further than Blake Howell Designs, and you can find them on Instagram. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See the whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, you want to get all of your notifications a fraction of a second faster without ever leaving your focus from the racing action? Then you're going to look over to iRacingIFlag.com. Check out their products for the digital light boards for your sim rig. Butt Kicker, the ultimate experience and feel from a sim car directly put into your sim seat. Whatever you're sitting in, attach it to the center post, and this thing is going to make you feel all the bumps in the track. So if you want to pick up something like that, head over to thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups, quality, professionally built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Find them at teamwatsonracing.com. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles, hobby shop with a whole lot more. So if collecting is the game, Dusty Pete's is the name, and you'll find them at dustypete's.com. And then lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with coffee from Roasted Gems. That's going to be it for us here tonight. We're going to jump it over tomorrow for the FTSR Sim Racing Points Truck Series. And then until then, you guys stay safe. Get your nerd on.